will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. Oh, you are mine. And Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters, wherever you would call me, and take me deeper than my feet would ever wander, that my faith would be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith would be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters, wherever you would call me, and take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith would be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Sing it out, yeah. Oh, and I will call upon your name. Keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. You are mine.
Good morning, I'm Pastor Mariah, the children's pastor from our Lake Stevens campus. This morning I wanted to share with you a verse in today's reading from our Bible a Day, and I was really excited about this verse in Romans, and so I thought I would share a little bit of insight with you about what I got from it. So the verse is in Romans chapter 13, verse 8, all the way through 10, and it says, "Owe nothing to anyone except your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirements of God's law. For the commandments say, you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others. Love fulfills the requirements of God's law." Now, I don't know about you, but laws are something that you either love or you hate, and generally you have a very strong opinion about them. But you also have a little bit, if you are anything like me, of wiggle room in what you will allow of breaking the law. So for instance, I'm always willing to go, don't tell anyone, 5 miles over the speed limit, because I feel like that's within the wiggle room of the law. But if I'm at the grocery store and I'm in the 10 item limit aisle and someone in front of me has more than 10 items, I'm mad. I'm really upset about it. And I've got strong opinions about certain things, but not always about others. Now, Paul is writing to the church, the Romans in the Church of Romans, who are struggling with all of these different laws that they are trying to live up to, the laws that they are trying to keep. And Paul is really trying to have this whole letter be to show that the Jews and the Gentiles are on even playing field when it comes to Christ's redemptive love. They are not better or worse. The Jews were the chosen people, the ones chosen first. But Paul is saying Jesus came to make sure that the Gentiles have access to the same level of forgiveness, the same level of salvation that the Jews have. And when he came to say all of these things, he really wanted to point out the fact that this Old Testament law that these Jewish people were holding firm to and also holding the Gentile neighbors to was silly. It's ridiculous to think that you could hold up to every single one of these laws. It's impossible. And that was the point. God created all of these laws in order for the people to see how fallible they are, how imperfect they are, how they cannot achieve every single law and live it perfectly. That perfection does not exist in us. And because of that, it just shows even more how serious Jesus' salvation was for us, for the Jews and the Gentiles in the Church of the Romans. It was so important that they saw this, that they saw how they could not achieve this law in order to see how sinful they were, so that they can fully embrace the grace and mercy that Jesus was offering them through his salvation. And that is exactly what this verse is really wrapping up. It's talking about how Jesus has fulfilled all of these laws. He's saying to them, hey Jews, hey Gentiles, you guys are arguing about silly things, these silly laws, these circumcision issues, and these are so not the point. Jesus' sacrifice fulfilled all of the laws. Every single law is already fulfilled. Your job now is not to try to hold up every single law. Your job right now is not to hold the person in front of you accountable for how many items they have in their basket. Your job now is not to yell at the person in front of you for going the speed limit when you would really like them to be going over. Your job now is to love one another. Every single time you choose to love someone, not just your neighbor that you like, not just your friends, but your enemies. When you choose to love them, you are allowing Jesus' love and Jesus' fulfillment of the law to continue through you. And that is the key in all of these verses that we're learning, is the fact that Paul is telling them, you don't have to be perfect, but you have to love one another. Even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when you really don't like the person. And that's hard for me as an adult, because I'm not forced to be in class with somebody that I don't like my child is, right? I don't have to say, just be nice to them, it's no big deal. I have to be that person. I have to be nice to somebody that I may not like. But that is when I show Christ's love, because that is my job in loving each other. And here's the key. It says in there, love your neighbor as yourself. Now, all of us have a little bit of that selfish pride. We were born with that. We know ourselves because we know Christ. We know Christ fulfilled these laws that our sinful desire could not. We know how much Christ loves us. And because we know that, we can love ourselves. We can know, God, if he loves me, if he's willing to die for me, he loves me, I can love myself. And that same grace that you show yourself, that same love that you show yourself, is the same love that you are required. In this verse that Paul is writing, Jesus requires us to show that love to our neighbors, to our enemies, to everyone else. And when you love the people around you, that love fulfills every single law. When you love people, you can't commit adultery because you would love people, right? When you steal, if you steal from a person, that means you're not loving them. So therefore, you're not fulfilling the law of loving them. When you covet, that means you're not loving that person. That means you're thinking about you wanting it yourself. All of these laws, all of these commandments that we read are things that are fulfilled or can be fulfilled by love. And when you choose to put others above yourself, when you choose to put them before yourself and love them, that is how we fulfill the law. I'm going to read it for you guys one more time because I just think it's so amazing. It says right here in Romans chapter 13, verse 8, it says, owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirements of God's law. For the commandments say, you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up with this one commandment. Love your neighbor as yourself. Verse 10 wraps it up perfectly for us. Love does no wrong to others. So love fulfills the requirements of God's law. Have a great day.